morning, Year 5. Here are your answers from yesterday. So we're getting into the area where we've got quite a lot of digits to worry about now. But we did spot yesterday that when we were doing hundredths, we were dividing the number by 1,000th. This fraction line can actually be used as a division. If you think about the symbol for division, it looks like this, doesn't it? It looks a bit like a fraction with dots for the numerator and the denominator. And 13 thousandths we can find by doing 13 divided by 1,000. And I'm just going to remind you, because it's always worth reminding of this one. It's something we are very good at forgetting. If I've got my place value grid here, okay, very quickly drawn one. If I start with 13 and I divide it by 1,000, it's 1,000, so we're going to go 3 places to the right. So that 1 goes 1, 2, 3, ends up there. That 3 goes 1, 2, 3, and ends up there. We've got to put our decimal point in and then fill in those gaps, which gives us 0.013. So you're just dividing by 1,000 each time. Now you know why I kept banging on about how important it was about talking about moving the digits. There we go, see? Okay, here is your Fluent in 5 for today. And here are today's answers. Okay, continuing our work on thousandths then, a couple more. We're going to talk about what happens when you get to numbers bigger than a whole one. So let's have a look then. This time we've got 2,112 thousandths. I instantly know that that is going to be more than a whole one. How do I know that? Hopefully you said that it's because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Okay, so this time I've got 2,112 thousandths. So I'm going to split that up into 2,000 thousandths, 100 thousandths, 10 thousandths, and 2 thousandths. Then I'm going to use my knowledge of fractions to say that 2,000 1,000ths is 2 whole ones. 100 1,000ths is 1/10. 10 thousandths is 100th. And 2 thousandths is 2 thousandths, giving us 2.112. Okay, same as what I was saying at the beginning. We're just dividing by 1,000, aren't we? Getting 1,000 times smaller. Let's have a look at another one. 2 whole ones and 372 thousandths. Again, if you find it easier, you can draw it or build the number to help you. Use a place value grid always to help you work out what each one is worth. We've got 2 ones, 3/10ths, 7/100ths, and 2 thousandths, giving us 2.372. Okay, please could you answer 13 and 14? Pause, have a go, and then unpause for your answers. Okay, 38 thousandths then is 0.038. 287 thousandths, 0.287. 1,001 thousandths I can see is more than a whole one because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. It's 1.001. This one is 2 whole ones, 0.103. 2 and 4 thousandths with 2 whole ones, no tenths, no hundredths, 4 thousandths. 4,972 is 4.972. Again, I've started to use my knowledge of dividing by 1,000. 4.715 and 2 whole ones, no tenths, no hundredths, 4 thousandths. There we go. Does 0.07 have the same value as 0.70? Yes, it does, because if we imagine that we're writing ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, we could write 0.07 and we could write 0.070, and still both of those numbers represent 7/100ths and nothing else. So they're the same. We don't need the 0 on the end, but it isn't incorrect if we do have it. Okay, let's have a look. A couple more then before you can have a little go. So could you work through 15 and 16 for me? And then we'll come back together to talk about 17 and 18. Okay, hopefully you have spotted these. 7 ones, 2 tenths, 5 hundredths, and 1,000th. Okay, you can see, can't you, how important it is that we've got a good understanding of fractions, because fractions and decimals are the same thing, but just written in a slightly different way. Okay, number 17. Again, this is just talking about our real good understanding of the place value, what each of those numbers is worth. The digit 2 is in the ones place. The digit 3 stands for 3/10, or 0.3. The digit 1 stands for 100th, or 0.01. And the value of that digit 5 is 0.005. Can you pause and have a look at those, please? Okay, the digit 5 is in the thousandth place. There's never enough room in these boxes to write very much in. It's thousandths. In 4.732, the digit 7, well, it's the one after the decimal point. So it's the tenths, so it stands for 0.7, or you could say 7/10. And 26.019, the digit 1, we've got the decimal point, we've got the tenths, then we've got hundredths, so it's worth 100th, or 0.01. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of zeros in that video today. Okay, over to you then. Here's your practice for today. At any point, you can go back and look at the video to recap. And if you do finish that practice today, there's a couple of problem-solving activities to do at the side there. And I'll be back tomorrow with your answers.